why I joined eXp? That's what we're going to talk about today.
And it goes a little something like,
let's talk about all the little details of why I love being at eXp Realty, but let's also talk about how it may be different for you and the next person who happens to watch this video. You probably Googled something like, why do people join eXp? Is eXp Realty really real? Or you probably just stumbled across this video because you have questions. And I want to spend some time explaining where I found the answers to the questions that you probably have right now, and why it's such a perfect fit for me, and maybe why it's not a fit for you. Because let's just be real in this world, it's not a fit for everyone. I am obsessed. I'm obsessed. It's changed my whole life. But when I first joined, I'm not sure I even knew how wonderful it really is. And I, again, don't think it's wonderful for every person in this world. So let's go back to the very beginning, a very good place to start. I've been selling real estate for almost 8 years, and when I stumbled upon eXp Realty, I had been in the business about 3 years. I had been with an independent brokerage in the Portland, Oregon area, and I'd recently moved cross country to Virginia. So I was making already a huge change in my life, and since I didn't know what eXp was, I couldn't stay with my independent brokerage in Oregon. I had to switch. I had to go somewhere new. So when I was making the move, I of course was also looking for a house. And as I would look for a house, I was noticing who was big, quote unquote, in the market. There was of course a bunch of independents. There was eXp Realty that I interviewed with. There was Keller Williams. There was Remax. There was Coldwell Banker. There was all kinds of the big box or the big name brokerages that I had to choose from. But where I ended up was eXp Realty. At the time, I was looking for a team model because I had come from a team model. Again, I'm not saying that teams are for everyone, but for me, I love the structure of a team. I love that I could just, go from one state to another state, and they could get me started really fast because they provided me a lot of leads. So I was looking for that, and what you look for, you find in this world. So let me tell you how it all broke down. I was looking at a house. I remember the house very specifically, and I remember the sign being in the yard, and I made the phone call from the driveway that I wanted to see this house. And the agent that picked up was with eXp, and he, of course, arranged to meet us there. And as we were walking through the house, he was telling me about the model, the eXp model, and I was intrigued, but I'm not sure I knew enough at that time to know how great it really, really was and was going to be in my life. I feel like sometimes in life you get gifts, or the grace of God just enters into your life, and I feel like this was one of those times because I didn't really ask that many questions. I saw the model. I asked my husband and I, we talked about it, and I just mainly because the team was a good fit for me, I was like, yeah, this will work. Where I really started to understand what made eXp Realty different from other brokerages was after I went to Tony Robbins. I went to UPW, which is Unleash the Power Within with Tony Robbins. I went to that in the summer, and then right after that, I went to another eXp event called Build in Las Vegas, and I was surrounded by the same sort of people. Actually, some of the people that I had met at UPW were at this Build event. That's how I kind of find out about it. They're like, aren't you going to Build? Why aren't you going to be there? It's going to be great. I was like, okay, it's going to be great. Let's go. That's kind of how I live my life. Like I just go down the path, and what feels good and what is good, I just naturally kind of find. And I feel like life is always happening for me, not to me. So this was the next obvious thing to do. So I remember sitting in the audience. I went all by myself. I didn't have a roommate. I didn't go with a bunch of people. I just went by myself. And I was sitting in the audience, and it was just at a random training, or someone was on stage, and I sat down, and the energy of the person beside me, I was like, this is a no-go. So I moved 2 seats up, and I sat down next to another person, and I it felt better, so I stayed there. So then after that person was done on stage, I started talking to this person, and he and I became the best friends. And even to this day, I see him every Thursday. He runs an agent attraction training that I'm on every Thursday, and I saw him last week when we went to Cabo, and he is, and the people at eXp, that's one of the reasons that I love it so much, is the culture of eXp. Yes, it's a cloud-based brokerage, but the people that are there are just so my kind of people. We're forward thinking, we're risk takers, we're entrepreneurs. We're not afraid. We're not afraid of the next thing that is coming. And so the people that have come in the beginning to eXp Realty that have built this thing, we have built it level by level, brick by brick, and the people that we are attracting are the same sort of people. I mean, we're achievers. We like to do it all. We don't just sell houses, right? We're building other businesses. We're doing coaching. We're doing training. We're doing events. We're doing retreats. I mean, it's just, I don't feel like I'm the quote unquote weird person in the room for wanting to do 3 things at once instead of just sell houses. And that is the model of eXp. You are allowed to be you, whoever you are, there. And the best part about it is that you can bring the people that are just like you, and you can all be business partners together. The way that it's set up financially, if I help you, then you get to help me, and we're aligned financially, which is so different from other brokerages. We as the agents get to be owners, and since it's a publicly traded company, when we do good, when we sell houses, when we give each other referrals, we are building this business from the ground up instead of from the top down. We are totally flipping real estate on its head. For instance, the big box brokerages, they were built from top down. Agents at the very bottom, right? We have the worldwide company, then it goes down another level, and then we have, state-run things, then we have the local, then we have and it's all brick and mortar, and there's lots of, red tape, and it's just like corporate America, basically. And then finally at the very bottom are the agents, who are the worker bees. We've always been the worker bees. But wouldn't it be nice if you got rewarded for your work? And that's how eXp has flipped it on its head. So after that event, I figured out how multiple streams of income were important. So we get paid on the houses that you sell, which is what you're already doing right now. When you sell a house, you get a commission check. That's one. Then we also, since we're a publicly traded company, we get, I like to call them bonuses of stock when we do certain things along the way. For instance, when I attract an agent to the company and they close their first house, I get a stock bonus from the company as a thank you for bringing that agent, which is awesome. Then if I choose to attract agents, not everyone does. Very few people in this company actually do the agent attraction portion of the entertainment because it's an actual separate thing from selling houses. I think about it, I plan for it, I have a separate assistant for it, I have coaching for it, I have all kinds of things over here for the thing that's called revenue share. Revenue share is, again, the third way that we make money in this company. So again, where you probably are right now, you just sell houses. But what happens if something happens? I heard a story on stage last week when I was in Cabo of someone who had built their revenue share agent attraction business, and then they got sick and couldn't sell houses and couldn't attract agents because they got really, really sick, almost died. And the revenue share kept coming and made it possible for them to get through that place in life. So I want to ask you, A, do you have health care? Because lots of agents do not. And eXp provides our agent health care. Do you have to pay for it? Of course you have to pay for it. Everyone pays for their own health care. But it is something that you have access to. With a lot of brokerages, they don't make it that easy. We want to make your life easy here at eXp. So we've talked a little bit about the culture. Now let's talk about training. When you are a new agent, when you are an experienced agent, when you are at the top of the game, you need different levels and different types of training. Have you ever been to a training where there are a bunch of new agents and you're like, if I hear I have to make my phone calls one more time, I may lose my mind. We all know we need to make our phone calls. Teach me something else. Teach me how to be at the next level. The wonderful thing about eXp is that people that are doing the training are actually doing the work as well. We're still in production. We're still running big teams. We're still creating coaching and training, and you're probably interested in something different than I am. I run a 5-day video challenge. I'm obsessed with funnels and email marketing and attraction-based marketing. I love making videos every day, but maybe that's not you. It probably is because you're attracted to me. That's why you have found this video. But what about if that's not for you? What about if you want cold calls? What about if you want to call expired and FISBOs and that's how you want to run your business? What about if you're a single agent versus wanting to be on a team? There's so many ways that you can sell real estate. And since there's so many ways and so many different agents, there's so much training that's available. Back to the culture, part of the culture and part of the money in eXp is the Icon program. Now with the Icon program, it's not just a trophy. You know, in some companies, like the top producer gets a cute little trophy and you get your picture taken and woo! No one wants a trophy. We don't. We want money. And so instead of a trophy, you get money. And what it is you get your $16,000 cap, which means you pay into the company, $16,000. And once you hit that, then you start to earn it back in company stock. Remember, we're a publicly traded company? Yeah. So you pay in $16,000 and then you can get that $16,000 back in company stock as you continue on the Icon program. Now, I can provide you that information if you'd like more information of how that program works. There's lots of little details in there. It's not just a magic like ching! You have to give back in the company, you have to do some training, you have to show up at events. I mean, there's some cultural awards that you have to do to get that money, but wouldn't it be nice to be able to have the option to get your cap back? Think of it this way. You pay your cap. You have a cap, right? I always ask that question because some people don't, and I'm like, ah! If you don't, know that you should. We can make better choices, right? Knowledge is power. So you have your cap, and then you have the option to start earning it back. And some companies, there's no option. You just pay it and it just fluffs it into the universe and pays for something that you have no control over. At least at eXp, with the Icon program, you have the option to start earning that back. And then layer on the revenue share if you want. No one's making you do any of this. We like freedom here at eXp. I want you to hear that again. We like freedom at eXp. We want you to have options and freedom. So you have the option to earn that stock back. You have the option to attract agents and earn revenue share. But no one is going to make you do any of that. We sell houses here at eXp, a lot of houses. And everyone that's around me is encouraging me to continue to sell houses because that is how we are built. That is how this company will succeed. Now, say you have a team, or say you have an independent brokerage. Now, the way independent brokerages work, of course you know this, but maybe someone else does, is that you are your own broker. What's different between you being your own broker and bringing your independent brokerage to eXp is that you don't have to be anymore. Are there parts of being a broker that you don't like? I bet there is. I bet there's part of that responsibility and that legal responsibility and the financial responsibility and the constant questions that come in and that you are the go-to for everything. Wouldn't it be nice if someone was in charge of training? eXp takes care of that. Wouldn't it be nice if someone had to deal with legal and E&O insurance? eXp takes care of that. Wouldn't it be nice if you got to focus on the thing that you actually like doing, which is running your business and leading your team? I have independent brokerages that are joining me who are joining me for those reasons. They're going to keep their brand. For instance, they're going to be Mega House, brokered by eXp, or the Grand Group, brokered by eXp, or Mission Realty, brokered by eXp. They're not eXp. They are their brand, and they happen to be brokered by eXp. It makes it so you get to stay you. I want you to be you because I want to be me. And that's another reason why I joined eXp. These are my people. I love this culture. I love being around it. I love helping to make it better. I love that they want our feedback. The leaders of eXp are accessible. I can call them on the phone. I can write them a text message. I can chat them in workplace, and they will respond. When we say, hey, this thing isn't working, this part right here actually kind of sucks. Could you help us with this part? Someone is there to listen and make an adjustment. Sure, we have had growing pains. Sure, things have been changing since the beginning. I came to eXp about 4 years ago, maybe a little bit more than that at this point. And when I started, there was some learning, right? There was some onboarding pains, but now we've gotten to the place where there are more employees to help. Yes, they're all virtual, but who do you really see in real life anyways, right? There's so many options. Do you want an office? You can have an office. Do you want to work virtually? You can work virtually. Do you want to grow a team? You can grow a team. Do you want to be a single agent? You can be a single agent. Do you want to not sell houses at all and just recruit agents? You could do that too. No one here is going to tell you what to do. And that's why I love eXp. They're all about my freedom. They're all about your freedom. And they're all about helping you help the people that are around you become more financially stable, multiple strings of income. If you have questions about eXp, please ask me. No strings attached. It's not for everyone. It's just not, right? Not everyone is going to love what I love in this world. But if you're curious and you have questions, let me know, and I'm happy to help. And thank you for watching this video.